Welcome. And this is meeting number 2. And this is the ECE EDU Advisory Committee. So thank you for those of you who came on time. This is our agenda for today. I know we just met 2 weeks ago, so there's a few slides in here that are somewhat repetitive because life doesn't change that much in 2 weeks in our sector, but we also have some new information. So we're gonna we have some action items on the sub-regional prioritization we talked about last week, and I put action items in here. We'll go over that for 10 minutes. The overview, announcements, goals, and objectives, we'll go over very quickly. And our priorities for today is to look at the status of and the when this RGV winds down, what will happen with Teach for the Bay, including the website, and can our subregions take over some of this responsibility? Um, so I'll give you more of a update, and Tracy Burt will also be talking to you about Teach for the Bay and the website. We've been updating it the past month, and there's some very strong reasons why we want to keep it in place. So we've got, and I know Joya had asked me about it, and Joya, this meeting's going to be for you because you asked about this. And then I want to hear again about things that we might have missed, and then just an update on legislation to watch. So we're going to go through this quickly, and as people come in, I will be letting them in, and hopefully I can remember to do all this. I do need Tracy here because I've got to make her a co-host, so hopefully she'll get here quickly. So Sarah was not here last time. Sarah, would you mind just introducing yourself? And then if there's anyone you don't know on here, I know you know some people already, um, they can introduce themselves.
Great. Kim, nice to meet you. I think you're the only person here that I don't know.
I'm
So,
letting more people in now, so that may change. But-
okay.
okay,
Well,
so this
I'll
is
maybe repeat
Sarah. She's
myself.
number 2 here.
Here I
Uh,
am.
Hi, Tina.
I do
Sarah,
know
just
Tina.
you know
Um,
Tina, right?
yes, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Tina. Okay. So I am Sarah. What kind of depth of introduction do you want me to do?
Just a couple minutes. Uh, just what you do at the county office and maybe a couple highlights of what you've been working on. I know you've got some new projects.
Sure. Okay. My name is Sarah. I am the Executive Director of Educator Development at ACOE. I came to this role after being an Oakland child and graduate, and then working in education for 20 something years. Most recently, before ACOE, I was the Senior Director of Recruitment and Retention in Oakland Unified, responsible for filling 1,200 vacancies and also developing pathway programs for our community. That was where I learned about apprenticeship, mostly from Kathleen and others. But we were in the really meaningful work of finding funding to blend career advancement with educational attainment for our community. And we saw that as starting in high school and going through early career educators, especially those starting with an emergency permit and working toward their preliminary credential. That's where I would say that I've focused the majority of my career outside of the classroom. And here at ACOE, we have, I'm going to start at the tippy top. We have a CTE credential program. We have a teacher induction program. We have 3 residency programs. We have 3 intern program partnerships where we're offsetting and subsidizing the cost of tuition. We have a bachelor's advancement program. We have a large classified to teacher grant. We have an innovative program called Project Para, which is aiming to fill
Mhm.
all of our para vacancies regionally. And we have, in partnership with Alice and our a few lead districts, we have sort of replicated the program that Joya and I started together in Oakland for youth apprenticeship development. Joy really started it. We kept building it together from a systems level. And we are currently anticipating 92 high school students will
Wow.
be youth
Great.
pre-apprentices in 26, 27 across
Great.
the Eden Area ROP, Hayward Unified, and San Leandro Unified. So that's the suite of work that I do at ECOE.
Great. And
I hope
just
that was clear.
yeah, Alameda County Office of Ed. I'm sure everyone can figured that out. Large county. Um, and I see some congruency with what Connie's doing, although you guys are both doing different things. So interesting how COEs can be similar and yet, just like community colleges, different.
Mhm.
Who did you not know on this?
I don't know Kim.
Okay. Kim, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Kim Sakamoto Steidel, and I am associate faculty with Cabrillo College, early childhood education and K-12 education programs, and I support apprenticeship and just do regional work as it as a need arises.
Great. And you're part of
Awesome.
the Bridge Apprenticeship
Part of the Bridge Apprenticeship, yep, absolutely.
and lots of things.
I did forget to say that Project Parrot is a registered pre-apprenticeship, and so is the youth program. And
Great.
we are in the final stages of our submission for the
Great.
credential apprenticeship.
Wow. Okay. Good.
It's with the DAS
With
back from the
DAS. You've
CPC.
been busy,
Yep.
Sarah. I think you and Connie, if you don't meet offline, you should. Um, you have a lot in common. Um, okay. Thank you, Kim. And I'm going to ask Sharon to do a quick update on the K-16 maps, and then she's going to be free. Sharon, do you want to announce your new
Yeah.
job and where you're landing
Oh, right.
and what you were working on? And then we're going to move forward.
Okay, great. Hello, everybody. I am going to be right now putting in course maps that were developed by the San Francisco Peninsula K through 16 Collaborative. The front is showing the healthcare sector, and then it's going to come engineering. But at the tail end of this course map that you're seeing will be education maps. One update that we're trying to work on before the grant is finished on the 30th of June is to develop a blank template that came from you, Kathleen, um, to see if we can just encourage other community
Mhm.
colleges and CSUs or four-year teacher prep programs to create their own course maps just to help with the advising, sending that down to the K through 12 to the community college and letting everybody communicate via this course map idea. So this was a prototype, a first time out. It took a long time to sort of solidify what it was, what it wasn't, but I hope it's a tool for you. So scroll to the end and you'll find the education sector, and that's going through Canada College, Skyline, and City College, and mapping to San Francisco State's um, uh, credentialing programs. Essentially, it's really through the Child and Adolescent Development Program, but there is an ITEP in there for PE. And then just a quick update. Yeah, as this grant is winding down, I've taken a position at San Mateo County in their college and career office. And so hopefully I'm actually going to be continuing to push these course maps out in that capacity. So I
Great.
like that overlap very, very much. And yeah, thanks for letting me make that announcement, Kathleen.
Great. Well, thank you for being here. And good luck with San Mateo County. I'm sure we'll see you. And in terms of the course maps, she's she said I know they're dropped in the chat. Um, we'd really like to, part of this, kind of regional work is to look at all of your partner colleges and do a better job at mapping. And so having these templates that you can just plug your courses into would make it easier for students. Students are always surprised at the differences between Sonoma, San Francisco State, San Jose, East Bay. they all are a little different in the courses that they um, ask the community college student to have to bring to the bring with them when they transfer. So having these maps very clear and mapped to both career outcomes as well as transfer really is important. So thank you for sharing that. And when we get a template, just you can send it to me and I'll send it to this
Oh,
group.
great. And we're also creating a sort of a brief about what was learned along the way. And so
Okay.
with some recommendations about how to convene, when to convene, cadence, and that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
hopefully both those tools will be available to all of you.
Great. Thank you, Sharon. Okay. Just a reminder here, we've already had our June 10th meeting. We're in the midst of our June 24th meeting. These are our next two meetings. We're asking that you please try to only miss one. And I just sent out a recording for the last meeting. Please, if you were not there, view the recording, look at the PowerPoint, and being part of this advisory committee it's important that you kind of see the whole progression of what we discuss. Again, future summits coming up, and we will be meeting at the summit. I'll confirm when shortly, and we'll have one in-person meeting. I'll try to schedule that around something that you're all going to. Um, okay. We already went over this last time. I'm not going to spend too much time. Sarah, you can catch up with what the overview is. Again, looking at regional strengths, solidifying next steps as this regional joint venture winds down on September 30th, and we're looking at building sub-regional capacity and strength. And I have links to the Vision 2030 reports. So just a quick reminder again for committee members, if you haven't looked at the Vision 2030 summary or report, take a look at it. The links are here and you all have copies. I'll send this out after the meeting. And Tracy, by the way, I made you a co-host, but I do have your slides up and you're on the agenda later. Okay. And let's see who else came in. So we've got Tina and Tracy. Tracy, you're on vacation. You should be, woo!
I'm leaving tomorrow.
You're leaving tomorrow. Okay,
Yep.
okay. So you're still
Thank you.
working. Hi, Tina. Hi, Joya. Okay. All right. Good to see everybody. A couple of announcements. Again, there's some things that haven't changed in the last 2 weeks, but a few have. So I want to make sure folks know about July 1. There is a sub-regional grant that was Strong Workforce BACCC grant that was approved. It will start. Joya, who's on this call, is the lead, and everyone in Alameda County. So Sarah, Alice are all, part of this. Um, and we hope that, oh, Hillary too, Contra Costa. So, no, Hillary's not. Sorry. Let me think. East Bay. Contra Costa is in the East Bay. Yes. So Hillary would be part of this too. Sorry.
Yes.
Um, right, Joya?
Yes.
Yes, she's part
Contra
of it.
Costa College.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And the Contra Costa County Office of Ed is part of this effort. So make sure do you have Joya's email? Make sure I'm sure Joya, you'll be gathering people together, but I want to mention that for sure July 1, that is going. I had a meeting with Hartnell College, and I know Kim can also give us some updates from the Cabrillo perspective, but there is a strong likelihood that a sub-regional project will move forward next after July 1 sometime, which encompasses Santa Cruz and Monterey subregion. Um, there is a new pre-apprenticeship that was just approved by Launch that includes Pacific Grove Adult Ed, Carmel, and Pacific Grove Unified. So lots of schools and lots of action down in the South. And we're hoping this sub-regional effort is moves forward, that there is some money attached to it. Ideally, we'll have Hartnell and Cabrillo working on this, and that's how we left the meeting. So, Kim, do you have any updates? since you're part of the
I just want, yes, thanks for mentioning that, Kathleen. And I think, as someone mentioned earlier, it's not just the deliverables, it's that need to collaborate on a
Mhm.
broader region, for the actual like convening, the meeting
Yep.
cadence, all those kinds of little things actually build up to mean a great deal in terms of project management and making sure that we actually do have the deliverables and the outcomes that, we're all looking for. And so I'm very optimistic about the work between Cabrillo and Hartnell and moving forward. Hopefully MPC can be included in that work also.
I hope so. Thank you. Yes, and I understand part of Gavilon is in your subregion because they have outposted offices. So Gavilon College is both in Santa Clara and your area. So according to
Mhm.
BACCC. So that's exciting. And the reason why I'm so excited about the sub-regional work is when this ends, nobody's going to be getting together. um, either by email or in person or anything after September 30th. So having these strong subregions is really going to be the way that we have unity in our sector. And so my goal is to have subregional work in all the subregions, and then you move forward.
Yes,
So
and my question for you, Kathleen, is will there be a coordinator who can continue to connect us all, glue us all together, who
I
will
think
be
you're going to have to glue each other.
okay?
Just to confirm, that means you're not going to send the email that has everything in it. Okay.
We really need.
No, and no, there's a couple things that are ending on September 30th. So the emails, the meetings, the technical assistance meetings, the um any legislation updates, and Teach for the Bay. And we're going to talk about Teach for the Bay today. So and how to keep that going. So I'll just go through this very quickly. I announced this last time, the new CAI funds, Contra Costa and Gonzalez. The Koya grant went to Oakland Unified. Yay, Sarah. I did want to mention, Alice, because I just saw them on the list, that CSU East Bay has now been approved for the TK3 credential. That must have
Wow. Okay.
that must have
Great.
happened recently because the last time I looked, it was SFSU, San Jose, and Sonoma.
Kathleen, I sit on the COA, and it was the very last meeting.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So
Okay.
I'm
That's great. Who's
yeah,
spearheading
I'm
that now that
pretty
Valerie just
current.
hired?
I looked at it, I did a double take. I thought, wow, no one that was they must have had this pending for a while because that was so CSU East Bay.
Yeah,
Um
who do you know who's spearheading that now that Valerie has
I
retired?
don't because
I
there wasn't
do. Hold on. I'll tell
Connie
you.
probably
It's
does.
it's it's Shadi, right?
Oh,
Connie?
Yeah,
Shadi
she was,
Rosenthal.
yeah, she spoke to yeah, she was at the meeting speaking to it.
Shadi Alice, and I'm happy to support our connecting with her in any way.
Okay. Yeah.
And who's the dean there, Sarah? That she came
Carrie,
out.
Carrie, Dr. Carrie, oh,
Peg is the one that came and spoke to it.
Peg is the associate dean.
Okay,
Peg
that was who was
Winkleman.
there. Yeah.
that's
Ka
great.
Kathleen,
I'm congratulations to CSU East Bay.
for the sake of just accuracy in the notes, can you say offer P3 credential? Because
Oh
that's
yeah,
actually what
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
called,
I'll change that. Yep.
just so nobody gets confused.
Okay. P3. I might be able to do it live here because I'm on my things. I forgot to ask Connie if you can give us an update on you and Tulare how we're approved for the new teacher credentialing apprenticeship. Do you want to give us an update on that and the work you just mentioned that you're on that committee?
Oh, yeah. So I will not be able to speak very well to Tulari's program. It's very different. But yes, both of us have approved standards from the DAS to run apprenticeship programs. I do know that Tulare is concentrating more on the STEM,
Mm-hmm.
and we are concentrating more in Santa Clara County on the special educator para position. So our apprentices, our para educators, and the plan is to go as apprentice through as necessary on ramps and off ramps. So the AA para, BA para, resident para. to
Great.
keep that apprentice in place the entire time. We started with 2 resident paras, so they on-ramped right in the middle. We're still working with DONS on how to get that clear credential portion apprenticeable. It needs a new, I don't know, maybe one of you will have a great idea. It needs a new title. It needs a new job title. It's head teacher, and then what? In any case, we have about 15 ready to interview for the AA degree at Gavilan,
Wow.
some are already employed as paras.
Okay.
At Morgan Hill is is the school we're starting with, and others are just interested to jump in to both. So we've got some paras that are ready to go to Gavilan, and some, that are starting at Gavilan and will be employed as paras. We've had a change of leadership. I just told you, Kathleen.
I know. I just
Really
met him
puts,
at that meeting.
Yeah, so I was involved in the writing, and then I was out, and now I'm being pulled back in. So I need to re-up myself. But I'll be working directly with Gavilan, which is why this being with you all is such a blessing, because I need some. I may very well need some fodder from all of your knowledge. We did make a great course sequence. We used all the coursework that would get that subject matter complete, so there would be no CSET involved. Gavilan was wonderful. Worked really nicely with them. I'll tell you where our bump is the BA portion of the route. Because we don't have a BA program yet. It's about the funding. So it seems to us that in our baby stages of this journey, that it needs to be at no cost. And we still need to figure out how we can get the ball rolling with that BA portion, because if they can wait for 2 years to get reimbursed, then it seems like that flow will be ongoing. So if they can be funded for the first 2 years, then the reimbursement will come.
Right.
And then we can flow. So I'm interested to talk with somebody about the subaward idea and how we can maybe figure out how a subaward could help a cohort of apprentices to make it from the AA to the BA degree. Because after
that's
the
a
BA,
problem
you've got
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just you. And you've talked to San Jose State?
Oh, so yes, we're trying. San Jose State, San Francisco, now East Bay. I think we're going to re-engage with East Bay. Yeah.
What about Monterey?
We didn't have much luck
Okay.
in the connecting, but we will continue to try.
Connie,
Okay.
can I ask 2 quick questions? Are your special ed apprentices from all ages, so they could be working in middle and high school as well? Or
Yes,
yes,
absolutely.
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I have a para apprenticeship that's early childhood and elementary and special education. So I love to connect. We don't have that. We don't have a route to the BA. We just have like warm handoff, good relationships right now, but we don't
Yes.
have any funding or anything for.
Yeah,
And they're all like, "What are we gonna do when we don't have
We're
this
going to
program?" And-
graduate.
Yes.
So, Connie, until I'm happy to meet with you about Gavilan, number one, because they're pretty new to apprenticeship.
Yes.
And but I agree there it's a great department, and you have a good dean that you're working with. He's very supportive of the sector. And maybe everyone that I've talked to around the state's having this kind of problem with having folks at the CSU for free, which is a mandate of the apprenticeship. But that bill that's still going through, maybe could have a solution, but I'm happy to meet with you offline anyway.
Thank you.
Kim,
Thanks.
you had a question? So
Yes,
just
I
email
just
me.
had a comment, and I'm glad to connect you, Connie, with CSUMB contacts. I work with the College of Education. I'm a coach and I'm a lecturer. So glad
good.
to help make that connection. Feel free to email me if you
I would
need it.
love that. Thank you.
And CSUMB, by the way, at one time had an amazing partnership with Hartnell and some of the area community colleges.
Yes,
And
we're reconnecting.
yeah, so just because they're a little bit outside of your territory doesn't mean they wouldn't be a good partner.
I
And they're
know.
actually not that far.
No. Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody. Let me go on and then we're going to get to action items and presentation. Um, Alice, do you have an update on the ACTEP convening? I pulled that. It's November 13th. Um,
Just that we've got the date and the place. We're now planning the speakers. I'm thinking of asking someone from launch actually to
oh,
come.
mhm.
And if you do you have should I talk to Justin about that or would
Yeah,
he
I
be
think
good?
Charles Henkel's the director of launch would be good.
Okay. Okay.
I think, yeah, he's got the whole picture, he's got the whole state, and yeah, that's a good idea.
Um, and other than that, we're just planning, but we've got the date and the place. We're going to do it in Fresno. Which is the first time I think we've had this up north or close to up north since I've been involved. And um so we're going to give that a try. So,
Yeah, you may want to ask the chancellor. She's, I don't know, kind of a Central Valley person, so maybe she'd show up.
What's the date, Alice?
November
November
13th.
13th, that's right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's a great way to meet other people doing teacher preparation programs at the community college level. And as Alice is a president, so I shouldn't be blabbing here because she knows more than I do. But at the meetings I've gone to, there's CSUs, there's county office folks, there's partners, there's nonprofits, there's employers. So it's kind of a nice convening for just teacher prep. So thank you, Alice. And then I announced these two last time, but Cherie Fortin has been seated on the CTC, and no community college funds for our sector were budgeted other than for AB 2206. And we shall see where that goes. This is all the advisory goals and objectives. Not going to go through that. I'm sure you memorized them all from last time, just a repeat. But if you didn't, these are our goals and objectives. And here's part one of our action plan. So, what I'm asking all of you to do is at your own community colleges and your neighboring community colleges, because clearly we're not representing everywhere right here. So, if you know any contacts, please advocate for sub-regional funding for this sector. It would be for ECE and EDU. You'd contact your CTE dean that you support sub-regional funding for ECE and EDU for a regional joint venture, just like Alameda East Bay has secured, and we believe the Santa Cruz Monterey will continue. So we've got some other areas. We also have K-12 pathway coordinators, and for our county office folks, I know Sarah, you've met Rona, but you've got three other K-12 pathway reps down in Alameda, and there's K-12 pathway folks in Santa Clara County. Some of them represent different school districts. This is the link to the page on BACC where you can find the local rep. So talk to your local rep, talk to your sub-regional directors, just reach out and say, I'm on this advisory committee. We'd like to continue the ECE EDU work. We can do that sub-regionally. And you're a partner, you're either a college, a county office, you're someone that works in the sector, and you know there's a lot of need in the area. And East Bay folks, even though, and Santa Cruz Monterey, you may be on the precipice of starting your own, but help the other sectors, help the other regions get the funding. You can just say, hey, we have this funding and we plan on doing this, and your area needs it. So, your K-12 pathway coordinators are listed here. The advantage of knowing them is that K-12 strong workforce money comes up every year, and that is a way to fund some of this work. And your pathway coordinators can help you figure out how much money's available and who might be applying. And then here's your contacts for your sub-regional directors. Araceli, Sarah is now helping with Peninsula, which is San Francisco and San Mateo County, and Luis is Santa Clara. So, for instance, Connie, you can just email Luis and say, I'm with the County Office of Ed, I'm on this advisory committee, and we have work to do. So you support a sub-regional continuation of the ECE and EDU work. Um, just it's just they need to hear from community members, colleges, other educational entities that there's a lot of unfinished work and our sector is kind of worth investing in. So this is your action plan for June, July. All you need to do is an email, please. And the other part of the action plan is, um, oh, here. So again, contact your K-12 pathway coordinators at BACCC. I've got a link to them. And also your, these are, support your existing and proposed sub-regional RJVs. And these are the ones I just mentioned. So East Bay is Joya. Alice and Sarah and Hillary would be supporting this effort. Santa Cruz Monterey would be Kim, and she would work with Bronwyn Marino, and Hartnell, Monterey, and part of Gavilan. So I'm just trying to set up like clusters of you who can all work together moving forward. And make sure you include your BACCC folks because they have access to funding, they have access to um, other things going on in the state at the other regions, and they can help you move this forward. Again, September 30th, this ends unless we continue this with your efforts. So those are parts of your action plans. Any questions before we move to our next item? Kim.
I'm wondering, is it possible to use this funding that we have, um, or will receive to get membership, institutional memberships for ACTEP?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
What do you think, Alice?
Yeah, I think that could work. I'm not sure the mechanism by which we do it, but yeah.
Because even if we had sub-regional funds, and then we can use those to just apply
Mm-hmm.
sub-regionally and then have individual institutional
Mm-hmm.
uh, memberships.
Yeah.
And and then I don't know, leave this to Alice in the ACTEP group. Could we create some type of a sub-regional
Chapter
group?
or
Or,
strengthen
yeah,
the chapter.
exactly, within
Mhm.
ACTEP, because if we're not receiving the technical assistance and we're not receiving the newsletters and information, it seems we're already getting that from ACTEP. And if we can,
Mhm.
join forces at least on the statewide level, then we can maybe kind of reinforce our efforts. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alice?
No, that sounds like a, I mean, that we've talked about doing that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And we've talked, we used to have the sort of regional,
Representatives.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when we have regional representatives, but we also had some regional, we sort of did some regional caucus stuff. We haven't done that
Mhm.
lately, but yeah, I mean, I think we can talk about that. We've been looking at how we can sort of in the long term go forward and support some of these things.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, also sending faculty to the ACTEP meeting too would be a good use of funds. So, and regional caucuses, and including our partners, our COE partners, our school district partners,
mhm.
and our regional. There's 7 BACCCs in the state, and some of them are more supportive of this sector than others.
Mhm.
Some are, and some are not at all. So we've got some work to do. But yeah, that's a good idea, Kim.
So Kim, can you put that in an email and just send it to me so I have it? That would be great.
No problem.
Okay, priority item. Tracy, I made you a co-host, but I
Okay.
also have your slides up. I've got them right here.
Yeah, if you want to go through them, that's fine
I
either
can,
way.
and you can just talk. So this
Yeah,
is
sure.
Tracy.
Are you able to go into a full screen?
Oh, no, I don't want to.
You don't want to?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully people can see them. Can you, so basically, let's see, let's get this out.
Can you see
So,
it, everybody?
yeah. So basically, we are reorganizing the Teach for the Bay website. Our vision is for it to be a useful website that doesn't need a lot of updating, but that different people in different subregions could actually update it. So the intended audience and this is all for your feedback. We might reinterpret this, some of it.
We'll
Um,
ask questions after. So
yeah, we'll have
we have
questions
time.
after.
Yeah.
So, students on teaching pathways, and then faculty, advisors, counselors trying to guide students and understand the pathways. So, we want to have kind of a Bay region space for understanding Bay pathways. There's other state, well, I'll talk about that. You can go to the next slide. So these are some of the main ideas, linking to other resources that will help students. So there's a lot of Hedika and I have been working on it, Hedika Coffee and I, and we're finding statewide websites. They're not all updated, but they are designed like the CTC has actually a lot of good web pages that we can link to. So we're trying to link to other sites statewide that are going to have as updated information. We don't want to recreate the wheel, but we want to have a useful place for students in our regions to go to. We'll have short videos or links to videos about permits and credentials. Um, well, we don't have a plan to update the website, but we'd love for people in the subregion to take turns or something like that. Right now, we have links to people in the departments, in EDU and CDEV departments, and what we're changing to is a link to the department. And what we're also considering is adding a link to an apprenticeship web page that would, exist past the people, right? So we're trying not to tie it to specific people. CSU Ed programs websites. We're thinking about that too. We haven't done that yet. And then there will be faculty resource hubs. So there's like the PAVE toolkit. There's a CAP website that has lots of great resources. There's an ECE faculty collective resource. There's ACTEP. So there's these different websites that we can refer people to. We'd like your help with continuing to kind of collect those resources. I think I already said that. You can go to the next one, Kathy.
Okay.
So
And
then we just wanted to kind of share what we're thinking about for these different pages. And you can, if you like multitasking, you can bring up Teach for the Bay now. We've made a lot of changes on there. So we really, Teach for the Bay was always about like why teach, bringing us home to our purpose, our why, how do we stay engaged, as well as providing information. So we have some inspiring videos on the homepage. And each page, thanks, honey. Each page has
San
a
Francisco Bay,
short,
by the way. So
what?
it's San Francisco Bay region. So it's Teach for the Bay's our area.
Yeah. Um, so each page will have a short one sentence explanation of how it is to try to help with the ease of navigation and helping people understand what the purpose of each page is. Next slide, please. So these are the ideas for this 4 simple buttons. They're not all updated yet, but so the first one would be pathways and resources. The second will be the archives from Teach for the Bay, which originally were on the homepage, but we think that they're still helpful in the archives. We have a page of stories that we're keeping as is, but we may add to later. And then the 4th page is Get Started at Your Community College. And we're working with a web designer to group the community colleges into subregions and then have the websites be connected to from those groups. So that's what we're working on.
Okay.
Next
And because I'm going to forget this, I
Mhm.
really want to hear from our county office folks on this because you're not in here and you should be. So we got
True.
to think of how to add county office resources in here. We can
And
talk about
maybe
that later.
apprenticeship resources I don't know if it's
Apprenticeship,
apprenticeship or
yeah,
more,
true.
but yeah.
Okay.
So we're in this group that has so much knowledge, deep and broad knowledge of things that are going on in our subregions. So, I mean, just one thing to think about is that once we make this, once we edit the site and make it stronger, we do want to do a lot of outreach for it. And we'll just, because there's no sense in doing it if it's not used, right? So we're thinking about that too. So let's see. I'm not sure I guess starting just with questions, these are some of the things we'd like to hear from you. So like resources, you can put them in the chat, things that we'd like that you think that should be included. We are hoping for, and we're asking the web designer to make accordions. So at the last meeting, people said it would be helpful to have things like I mean, we said Title 5, Title 22. Those wouldn't be the titles. It would be something like family child care, Head Start teacher, and then the accordions would open and there would be resources under there. Um, so we're kind of thinking about that. And again, it would open and there would just be links. We're not going to try to create the resources that would give the information because that needs too much updating. Um, and so the question for that would be like, how many pathways? Because when you start writing them down, there's quite a few, right?
Quite a
As we
few,
all
because I
know.
could think, yeah, credential. I mean, P3 credential, multiple subject. We've got,
Yep.
again, teaching for the Bay is students and future teachers have all kinds of career goals. So,
Yeah,
uh,
that's why we would have we'll have end up with a lot of accordions, right?
yeah,
So PK to 3 teacher, elementary school teacher,
yeah,
middle high school teacher. So it gets
yeah.
so we'd love feedback and we'd also like to ask you to beta test it and check it out once it's ready.
Hmm.
So can you go to the
Next
next
page.
slide? I don't remember what I
Yep.
said. Oh, see so
Brainstorm.
here are the ones that we were
Yeah,
thinking of so far.
yeah, yeah. And there's many more. I mean, I can think of CT credential. Yeah, lots of pathways. Lots of pathways.
Yes, so we would want to include the permit and it might we would include links to the CTC permit pages. We
Mhm.
have a really nice video about permits that's on YouTube that we'll link to. We are trying to get our videos. I just heard from Sarah. I don't know. I mean, Susan, I don't know if you saw that, Kathy, but we're going to try to host videos somewhere other than where they're hosted now because right now people see ads. So we're hoping on some of them. So we're hoping to figure out how to
Hmm.
host them on City College's website so students wouldn't see
Yeah, they're ad
ads.
free on the City College
Yeah.
website. So we don't want students having to go through ads to find out how to be a multiple subject teacher. But anyway, okay, next one or no?
Um, yeah, sure. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, this is just ideas and
yeah,
questions. So,
okay. And then, okay, these are just more resources.
yeah.
So, should I get out of this and then we can talk?
Yeah, sure. And Connie, thank you for that. I found their page too, and I have to say, San Diego's COE page is like impressive. So it's not a Bay Region page, but I think we should link to it because they have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
It's really clear.
they do link to CTC too a lot, but yeah, it's a nice build.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, we could look at, I mean, we've got how many county offices? I guess one per county in our region. So, um, we'd have to think of a way to link to the county office and the correct place where careers are held. And that's very tricky because Connie and Sarah, as you know, linking to HR doesn't always help people. I mean, sometimes it's just, you know, it's like what jobs are open? That's not really the question that students are asking. It's how do I get a job down the road? So
Yeah,
you represent pretty big, and we have Hillary. So you represent some pretty big county offices. And then we're in San Francisco where it's one city and county. But how to include the county office? Is that a separate accordion? I mean, what do you guys think?
It seems like it would be good to go. I mean, we have a Get Started page, which we were going to rename to Get Started at Your Community College. And then
Hmm.
the COEs could be linked to on that page
Hmm.
because I think it's like the apprenticeship resources.
I think for students, they don't know what the County Office of Education is.
Right.
They just, so it's better to, like you said, get started or programs to help you get started or,
Hmm.
something like that rather than here's your County Office of Education.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or
I
we could,
totally agree. It's kind of
yeah.
like get started, and then there's like a hub of resources for getting
Hmm.
started. And that might include um, four-year universities, community colleges, apprenticeship pathways, and COE resources.
Hmm. Yeah, and just some basic, kind of the same things in each subregion. I mean, we're not going to have what we're trying to do is update it and keep it and put it in a shape that all of you can use down the road. Like Joya had asked questions about the East Bay subregion, and this website is part of a hub. It's part of a regional hub. So we should have kind of the same things available and not too much. Just, the colleges, community, again, it's community college funded. So the colleges, your COEs, I could even argue that maybe your first fives, and I mean, we're going to go in the weeds here, but there
Like your
are other
R&Rs, you
people,
mean?
The
well, and the
R&R.
first five commission. I mean, first five's funding a lot of workforce stuff.
It is, but if I was a student and saw
Yeah.
First
Yeah, I
Five
know.
Commission, I'm like, meh.
I
I
know.
mean,
I
I
know.
also agree. Like, if I just saw County Office of Education, I don't know if I would click that. I'd be more likely to click community college. But if I saw Santa Clara
Jobs,
College of Education,
apprenticeships.
special ed para,
Yeah,
then I would click that. Oh,
yeah,
if I was interested in that. So I don't even know if it has to say anything about the County Office of Ed on the page, even
yeah.
if I think it should say the name of the apprenticeships, though.
Since it touches, oh, thank you. This is so great, Tracy. Thank you and Kathleen, because I sent the email. I didn't know if you heard me. You heard me.
I always hear you, girl.
I appreciate you. I what I was going to suggest, and then I opened up SD San Diego. Thank you, Connie, for sharing
Mhm.
that. I think that was you. I think our students need to see themselves. So I like the user profile because if you notice, all of the systems you mentioned is touching each of them. High school,
Mhm.
you know, um, those with the degrees, the college undergrad, the current educator. Like I like how they set it up from a user profile
Mhm.
because there's certain information that's relevant to that particular
Mhm.
user that touches all of those systems. And I don't think a student would understand Head Start, Title V, Title 22,
Right.
all those things, but they'll understand, hey, I'm a high school dual enrollment student.
Right.
How do I get started? So I like how that is built out. And I do think based on what you all have shared, is taking the best of the web because Sarah's website is good too. I like ACOE. I was like, oh, go Sarah.
Mhm.
I just looked at that the other day. I was like, oh, we got some resources coming into our area. So anyway, I just am grateful for the work that you've done, Tracy, Kathleen, and I do not want the website to go away. So I'm happy that we are
Mhm.
having this discussion. Even what you just said earlier, like Sarah highlighted your emails, like those are so important to me. The
Mhm.
emails that give us the legislation and all the things that are happening. And so we have to figure out how to make sure we're stronger together, even though we're going to go into this like sub-regional
Mhm.
piece. So
Well, I
because
think
I'm not agreeing with September 30th, Kathleen. You're gonna have to rethink that.
yeah. I think the RJV's ending. And so, but I'm trying to hopefully we've saved some money to, with the
Yeah,
subregions to get some power. And
yeah,
I think we have to all, well, I'm gonna say something about something else in a minute. But I think we all have to think like a student. And
yeah,
your future employees, your future students, your future workforce is really confused. If you look at all these websites and all this information, I think it's just, having it together in the region and having it kind of coalesced and having it linked to really important things is important, but we're trying to
yeah.
ease that confusion. And it's really hard to be a
We are.
student, let's say, who just moves to the San Francisco Bay Area and they want to go into this field. It's really hard for them to figure out what to do and who to talk to. And um, so I think this is, if we really look at the user, maybe that San Diego idea probably came from a focus group where the users are saying, yay, I don't know what to do. Tell me.
I mean, I love the San Diego website, but our website cannot be anywhere close to
No, I
us.
know. We don't have
We
the
don't have
time or
that.
money. I
It's
know.
not, yeah, and our website itself doesn't have the capacity. I mean, it's
No.
Squarespace. It's think super simple.
Yeah.
It is It drives me nuts. I am not, I mean, I've gotten a little better. Did you see it, Kathy? It looks so much
I
better.
haven't
For a
looked
minute, it
last few
looked
days.
really bad.
Okay. Okay.
But anyway, I don't know how to do all those things. So and I don't even think that we have enough space, like, like cloud space to do all those
Yeah.
extra pages. But Kim, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, so I just want to make sure I'm on the same page as everybody else. So my understanding is that Kathleen is creating a transition out for us based on the services and support she's been providing, and that Joya is heading this new RJV
East
group,
Bay.
East Bay.
Yes, just
But
East Bay.
wouldn't it make sense if the new Monterey, let's say Monterey RJV or
Mm-hmm.
whatever grants we have are feeding into Teach for the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and so we need to be collaborating a little bit more on that level so we are on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're trying to set up now is that
Yeah.
paper, that structure to do that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
by the way, North Bay, Melise did meet with the North Bay regional person, and they encompass Sonoma, Napa, Marin. There is some interest in having that subregion prioritize our sector. So we are getting traction. And the idea would be everyone could just kind of work on this website and update your own stuff. So anyway, Tracy is working on getting it into some, what I would say, decent shape. It'll just be decent shape. And I do see, Tracy, that we're missing our county offices of ed. So we'll have to, I can maybe pull, maybe Connie and Sarah, though, can help me figure out. When you say county office, it's like we don't want just www.sccoe.com. I mean,
We should have the names of the apprenticeships, I think.
well, or even, well, it's HR. I mean, it's kind of where do you send people who, it's not just apprenticeship, because it's also folks looking for jobs. It's um the
So what if
training.
we have a list, like you said, of like each county of ed? What would each county of ed have? Like for the community colleges, we want department link,
Mhm.
web link, and apprenticeship links.
Yeah.
What do we want for the county office of ed? Is it like finding a job and any apprenticeships that they have? Because some places have multiple apprenticeships, so we could link list those.
It might be
I
that.
also I think for us we have like a get started place. We have
Okay.
an interest form and we have career guides who have like
Okay.
a one-stop shop with folks and then route them to the program.
Okay.
So it's
Oh,
like
see, that's
So that
perfect.
would be
like
your landing page.
concierge level service for
Oh,
interested folks.
concierge level. Okay.
I
Ooh.
mean, that's what's
Yeah.
going on here, you know.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
they can schedule a one-on-one with us, they can fill out an interest form and start engaging via
Okay.
Wow,
email.
that's
But we've
amazing.
like invested in staffing for the actual kind of like the confusion, navigating the
Yeah.
confusing path.
Okay. So um I would just say at this point, Tracy and Connie Sarah and Connie send Tracy um your landing page that you prefer. And then as Hillary will also be working on that. And for the county offices that are not here, let me know if you both know of a way to do outreach to them.
Yeah, I was going to say that what makes, and I think Sarah just said that they're doing it also, what makes San Diego unique and maybe Alameda as well is that their webpage is not to attract candidates to their county office programs, right? So that's where I don't even know if I could affirm ours. In fact, our whole educator preparation department is moving under HR out of ed services. Like we're
Oh,
on the move right now, so I'm not going to have anything to share at this moment.
okay.
But I think that's ideal, what Sarah described. So as long as the county office isn't only advising to their own programs,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully what they're doing is connecting to the community college because
Mm-hmm.
they've connected with community colleges with the BA degrees. That's what San Diego does. And it sounds like
Yeah.
that's exactly what Alameda does.
Yeah, so it becomes like a county-wide effort. I see that. But I'm telling you, there are some county offices that aren't doing that much. So all we're going to get is a www dot da 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 list. I'm afraid. But that better than nothing, right?
Yeah, I can share what we have right now. It might take a few months to switch over, but I'll give you the new
Okay.
one when I.
And do you either of you have like a list of your peers in the San Francisco Bay region? The other um counties that however 8 counties we have?
I probably do, Sarah, through residency.
Yeah, we have San Francisco.
Mhm.
That one's easy because it's um well, it's not easy because it's not that clear, but it is easy to put a website there. Who's gonna be on the other end? And then the other thing that's frustrating and even frustrating for us in the colleges is will people answer? I mean, you do a web link, you do a web page, and can a future teacher get an answer? Um, well, I'm going to mention this now because we are on a recording, but I went through all the colleges' websites to look for the web links and to update this. And I need to say, as a strong community college advocate, that some of the websites are very outdated and very hard I can't even find our departments, ECE or EDU or anything having to do with children very easily. In our sister colleges here in the San Francisco Bay region, it was very difficult for me. And I know what I'm looking for, and it was hard for me. So, I also saw lots of outdated names and people that I know were gone, were still on the website. And if you just like search in a college and do I want to be a teacher? I want to work with children. Very hard to find the right place to land. So I'm just, we can't fix this with this regional effort here, but I think I can send out something in our one of my last newsletters saying, look at your websites. And I'm including City College, where I retired from in this too. There were some hard things to find in there. It's all of us. And I think we just don't prioritize that kind of, deep, student focused information updating and management. But that's really the key of enrollment, and it's a key to our profession. So I actually couldn't even find two departments on colleges that I looked at. So,
Well, the problem is I have no control over my
oh
college web.
no,
And so the way it's set up is admittedly pretty bad. And I've been on no end of meetings and committees where we talk about
yeah.
improving it, and it just doesn't happen. And updating it is so complicated.
Hmm.
This is a problem. This is a problem about
Yeah,
crowdsourcing the updates is
yeah,
that you don't do it that often.
right.
So remembering how to do it is a challenge.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
it's you put it off because, well, I don't have time to deal with all this today.
yeah.
So it's tough. And we're not allowed to freelance a web page of our own. We've
Yeah.
got to work within the
Exactly.
constraints and the branding and
Yep.
the colors and
Hmm.
everything that
The
we're handed. So
accessibility.
it's it's overall a problem. I think most college websites are terrible.
Well, Chabot's was actually pretty easy to find. At least Be a Teacher was on there. So I could actually find you.
Oh, that's good.
It wasn't too bad. I agree for all those reasons, but when you look at the need in our profession and how many pathways people want to go down and how complicated it is, it's not helping. So I know I'm just preaching to the choir, but I'm just telling you, feel free if you all want to look at each other's websites, do it. Help each other because some of them are really hard to, it was very hard for me. Um, but anyway, back to this, Teach for the Bay. At least we want something easy to use. Maybe a portion of the sub-regional money, even a small portion, can go to a web updater who can update Teach for the Bay.
I think that makes sense. The other thing is like, ideally, I don't know what's on everybody's web pages. I'm aware of some of the things that are on ours, and that's the next web page I have to update. This is definitely like my least favorite part of my job so far. I'm just saying. But I I think we should have as little information as possible so it doesn't need so many updates. I mean, I think we put way too much stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
if Teach for the Bay could be like a source for our region that we all link to, then that would solve some of our problems, right? Because we wouldn't have to update and we wouldn't have to like be putting all this extra information there. So ideally, that's what it would be. And
And
also, we won't be duplicating each other's work because we do
right.
that so much.
And the opposite can happen too. So Sarah and Connie, and I know Hillary has responsibility for some part of her website. You all can take what we're updating in the community college area and plop it on your website because a question that future COE employees always ask is, where do I get these classes at? And how do I get started? And so you can use what we have and copy that too. We need some reciprocity.
I just want to say that I think that this is where, like, starting with the course map that we did that Sharon, you shared with us.
Hmm.
Like, I think that you know, considering the relationship between the course map, the careers, the pathways,
Hmm.
that like those three things are inextricably linked.
They
So
are.
depending on where you are, here's what's available. Next step, you're going to make this much more money. Here's what's available. Here's the course sequence to get there. Like really being, I think that that's what the community needs most is here I am. How do I get
Hmm.
it's a lily pad approach rather than a fire hose approach.
Hmm.
So the more that we can be like to lay out the lily pads and to really affirm taking one step at a time, um, will be really
Yeah.
positive and supportive to the population looking to teach.
Yeah. And we've also got a lot of family childcare providers that want to go into business and they can actually do quite well for themselves, but they don't know where to start. I'm not going to get into the whole nanny thing, but my God, in San Francisco, nannies can make more than all of us on this screen.
Yes.
I've met some.
Million dollar nannies.
I've met some.
Well, there's a new
Blown me
reality
away.
TV show about them.
Is there? Oh my God.
I
Well,
I will say though, I mean, we've been kind of playing with the term family friend neighbor nanny because that's
yeah,
what's relevant in our
yeah,
county.
yeah.
And we have been directing those folks to our business center for
Hmm.
entrepreneurs and small businesses. So if your colleges have small business like partnerships or people that will help
Yep.
with entrepreneurship, I'm trying to help our people in our county mindset that as a nanny, that's your small business.
Yeah.
As a family childcare, that's your small business. So they need supports to think of themselves in that way as professionals. And then that's a nice connection to like, well, if you want to build your business model, having some ECE classes is going to be a benefit to you
Absolutely.
as a sole proprietor businessship or family childcare. So if you have those connections, those are, I think, helpful ones and for a family friend neighbor, right? So community college used to be really for everyone. Now we're very much pathway oriented, but you might still have folks who just want to be a better grandma and take
Yeah.
an ECE class, right? So that's some ways that we can direct them in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of opens the accordions up a little bit. So family, friend, and neighbor or whatever. Okay. Well, good. That's a good point. We can digest all of this. But again, this is just, it's making the sector in the region more visible. We're going to leave it, as I said, in basic shape. And then I do think sub-regional funding, though, even a small amount to update things and continue this kind of talk makes sense. We don't really have anything that combines us all together. So we could also see if BACCC, they host my website. Um, they could, possibly link to an external website, but it's so BACCC focused. I think it's not student friendly at all, whereas this is. Um, but anyway, okay. Any more? What resonates? So what we've been talking about, with the website, with what else do you need at your institution to integrate with other orgs? We talked about faculty and counselor training last time and mapping. So we're going to try to have some templates of maps. Um, we know faculty and counselor training needs to happen all the time. This website can be the home for that, but What else do your students, teachers, future employees, peers, what else do you need?
Just in general, Kathleen, not related to the website? Or are we
Yeah.
still talking about the website?
Well, more in general,
Okay.
what else
Just,
do you, yeah, what else do you need that sub-regionally maybe could be addressed?
well, I know that Alameda County hasn't been doing TCCs for the mixed delivery system for a long while. I don't know what the status is. I mean, I think that there's some like fundamental needs that the community needs. Like we need professional growth advising
Hmm.
for the community. Where are you starting? Where are you going? What do you need to get there?
Hmm.
We need TCCs so that people can access higher wages when they meet the criteria. And then I think that what Joya has been saying to me for like, I don't know, a decade now is that we need career navigators,
Hmm.
right? And so we do to some extent have career navigators, but we really need them to be like focused, trained on the community college systems in our area so that we can see the alignment between the courses. If you're at Chabot or if you've started at Chabot, here's your course map. Like we need like some tight systems that can
Hmm.
help people see what's my next lily pad step, but then also where am I headed? How do I not waste my time getting there? Right? So that we don't want them spinning in community college. Not that
Hmm.
I don't think anyone here wants them spinning in community college. But the more that we can be kind of like directive and clear and transparent about the way that the pathway unfolds.
Hmm. And you,
That's what I've been collecting data from people.
okay.
And then I think, like our amazing community college partners who are here, I love that I have Alice and Joya here, are like, we need connections with the people at UC Berkeley and CSU East Bay. We need like
Hmm.
really clear handoffs between community college and four-year universities. And we know that the privates are doing an exceptional job, Advance, Reach, et cetera. They're doing an exceptional job in this area. But we need like the public system to be
Yeah.
talking to each other. And so I think regionally, we need to be bringing together the public system.
Yeah. Yeah. A good point. I think that was part of what Connie was saying too. Right, Connie? We need a CSU. Um, so maybe at our next meeting, I can invite someone from the CSU Long Beach office. I've been working with Hillary Seitz, who's doing the PAVE toolkit and Spark ECE. But maybe, I don't know, I'll see. Um, um, because they meet with all the CSU deans and they meet with, I mean, obviously enrollment and pathways are important to them. Um, so maybe that's a good next step. Navigators. Well, yes. Uh, navigators are pretty expensive.
I
Tell me.
was just laying out my wish list, everyone.
Yeah, I know.
You said, what do you need?
I
That's what we
know.
need.
Well, at least your first five in Alameda counties, addressing some of the workforce issues. And in San Francisco, they are too. In Sonoma, they are too. But
Oh,
and
can I say one more thing that we need? And you all can maybe help me think about this, is we need the vacancy data for the mixed delivery system. Where are there vacancies? How do they align with the permit matrix? Where should we be focusing our time and attention? Are we focusing too much on the associate teacher level permit and we need to focus on center directors? What's going on? What's going on here? How do we collect that data? So that's what we really need is data.
yeah,
Also,
well,
Is
current
this
and planned. So, like 5 years, 10 years, right? We know we have a huge part of our workforce that's going to be retiring. What is that going to look like if those folks disappear from classrooms quickly? So, thinking about longevity and
hmm,
capacity building within organizations, which is like the employer part of it, right?
yeah,
And that also, I mean, that dovetails, or it also has to integrate with population changes and shifts, because there's a lot of that going on too, in terms of how
yeah,
many kids we have and um, the communities that we're serving.
yeah, yeah. And our high school population is actually dwindling. Um, So just there aren't as many kids, and it's going to continue to, people aren't having as many children. And so there are most certainly shifts. Um, so, okay. So where are the vacancies? Where are the needs? Looking at projections. That's something that the COE, the Centers of Excellence, can do um, for the region. But it sounds like there's more of a drill down needed for um, types of jobs and anticipated openings. We should have a COE update next year. It's every 2 years. So the last one was 2025. There should be one in 2027. So hopefully they will be guided in some of the things to include vacancy data for job types. And I have to say, job types are not, you would think that they would be uniform, but they're not at all.
They also don't align well with the code way things are coded,
Right.
the occupational codes.
At
They
all.
don't, those don't really align with how things are structured,
Right. And they're
which
not aligned with, we looked at the last one, we looked at Glassdoor and some of the other um, data files that capture job openings. And when you look at how employers define the jobs they have open, they call them all kinds of things. Like, I'll give you an example. We were trying to find after school jobs. They're called rec leaders, sports, coach. I mean, they're called all kinds of things, but not after school workers. So, we have a lot of words that we use in this sector that make it really hard to figure out what job someone's taking with children, what they're actually doing.
Yeah, and here at ACOE, we're trying to actually think about the entry level workforce, which I know that you all are thinking about all the time.
Hmm.
And we think that like one of our best bets is to unsilo ourselves. So here we have ECE and EDU. I think being inclusive of SPED, expanded learning, and mental and behavioral health
Hmm.
pathways has been really important for us because
Hmm.
that like entry level community is is like fanning across those sectors, and they don't know what they want to do yet, but they do
Right.
know that they need to get paid and go to school. So
Yeah.
like how do we
Right.
advise them well when
Yeah.
they're out of school but they're in work and they're in this low wage entry level education or all of those sectors
Yeah.
so that they have like the best bang for their buck in moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's very hard. And the money from the state, doesn't always follow. I'll give you an example. They put quite a few dollars into mental health professionals to work in schools after COVID. And it was like, what is a mental health professional? I mean, what qualifications do you need? Kind of the same things going on with the art teachers. They put all that money into art, improving arts education, but because credential programs limited numbers of art students and music students, a lot of those are actually consultants that are being hired, not really teachers. So what is that? What qualifications do you need for that job? It doesn't always fit. The money
Kathleen, you're
doesn't
making me
always.
think. Yeah. You're making me think about like, I don't know how many of you are navigating selective admissions process now, but that's going to be something that's going to affect our students in terms of their financial aid. And depending on how your college is dealing with whether or not your degree will be listed on CCC Apply,
Yeah.
or they'll have to choose an alternate pathway. So I don't know if y'all have some suggestions around that, but it sounds like that will be one more barrier for our folks who
Hmm.
don't know what they don't know to figure out what they know.
There's another barrier too, which I just thought of, and it's not on here. But since we're talking about barriers, Pell Grants now are available for short-term training. And in our sector, there are lots of jobs someone could get with one semester's worth of courses, right? 12 units, you could get jobs. And they could get Pell Grants for short-term training, but we're not set up to explain to a student what that is or how they could do that.
I mean, yes, and thinking about our workforce and all of y'all that are dealing with like traditional ECE folks and apprenticeship, 12 units is like, are you kidding? That's crazy. Like they can't do that and work or try and get some, not certainly not
Yeah.
2000 OJT hours in one semester. So actually that's something that came up to me today. I was doing some work around my program and we're going to be adding the associate teacher pathway because we just see
Hmm.
folks struggling and we want to capture some data differently. But 2000 hours for associate teacher, 2000 hours for teacher, like that seems unrealistic for the associate teacher level. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah,
And
but
so we want to be thinking about that.
if you're trying to get a Pell Grant and it's a 16-week limit, you can get a job at the end of 16 weeks in our sector. But
That is
set up.
true.
The colleges aren't set up to explain what courses would help you do that. Um, well, anyway,
You can get a job without units, right?
yes,
But
you
so what would be the
can.
benefit of fast tracking
You could get a job
for
if you're
Pell Grant
breathing.
purposes? Sure, but probably not long term for our field, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. This is just all I wanted to tell you. Legislation, it's all these bills are still moving forward. So you all take a look at them. The apprenticeship bill, by the way, AB 1904, is still active, and so is 2206. So they're all moving forward. I just checked. They're all either past some committee, they're still being heard. None of them have died yet. So take a look.
I'm feel concerned about AB 1904.
Mm.
That's it.
What is your concern? Is your
I
concern
have
that it
two.
won't pass or that it will?
I'm concerned that it will. Um, Let me tell
Yeah.
you all what my concerns are very quickly. My concern is number one, that a person cannot serve in a classified role while meeting the 300-hour requirement
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
unless it's developed as a classified apprenticeship role, which I don't think that, I think
No,
like
that wasn't the intent.
classified labor
Mm-mm.
is not for it. So it has to be a certificated pathway. And I'm not sure where the money is to fund 300 hours of paid
Mm-hmm.
on the job training before a person becomes an apprentice of record.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, everyone. There are very few people, except for maybe the people on this call, who understand deeply teacher licensure and apprenticeship. And I think that those two things make it really hard to pull off on the ground.
Yeah, I think, Connie, this was discussed at that meeting we were at last year. It's failed twice, 1904. This is the third time, and it's really creating a different pathway to credentialing through apprenticeship. And I'm concerned because, as you said, the CSUs are not quite there yet with providing a free education. I don't know how they're going to do that. But
Yeah, my concern was in that area is that we're going to expand this and people are still very confused
yeah,
about that segment. Not to mention what Sarah said. I mean, we're linking to these classified positions. So
yeah. Yep.
And the fact that, yeah, CSEA came out and said you can't use our classifications for those 300 hours of paid on the job training. I'm just concerned. Like
Yeah.
it's not, it's going to be hard to pull off, especially with declining enrollment, shrinking budgets, and
Yeah.
then the like lack of understanding between people who understand teacher licensure and people who understand apprenticeships.
Apprenticeship. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're putting together two monoliths that don't talk. But
Well, and they could talk,
they
but
could.
we would need to like, you know,
Yeah.
bring our classified labor partners along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we have to bring all the labor partners along. I mean, that's been one of the obstacles, right, to some of these education pathway apprenticeships.
one thing we're
Totally.
gonna put on the website, Sharon and I, Sharon before she leaves for her other job, and I have put together a labor list of the locals in your areas. It's trust me, if you think it's hard to go through a community college website, try going through a labor local website, who the lead who the lead is at each local. But we're going to try to put it together and get it out to you. Um, um, because we need our labor partners. Many of these jobs are labor represented.
Hmm. Well, and that was the fun part of building the apprenticeship was
Yeah.
actually the
Yeah.
joint apprenticeship committee with a labor partner.
Yeah.
So I think like it's about doing it together. That's the point
Right.
of it.
Yep.
And so uh I want the concept of apprenticeship to relate to all the educator pathway development that it
Hmm.
possibly can. And so if it's only fixated on residency development,
Hmm.
then that's going to leave a lot of people out.
Yeah. Well, we are running out of time. We have a lot of work to do. Thank you, Brain Trust of the San Francisco Bay region. I'm going to recap a couple things. I'll send you all the slides, your action plan, contact your CTE deans, contact your area colleges, contact your K-12 reps, say we need more work in the subregion. All these things you just mentioned, you need people talking about it together, right? So I gave you links here. This is a way to get money to fund each other to do this subregionally. Okay. And Tracy brought up, I think, lots of questions. Um,
Yeah, if anyone wants, I mean, I'll try to do it. I just think, I don't know, probably needs to be a smaller, like two people just kind of workshopping it or something.
well, we can send it out to this group to at least look at and make
I mean, I'd
recommendations.
love recommendations.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little complicated.
I
Just
think,
know that like the archives page is not done yet. The front page is sort of, it's a little repetitive, but it's in decent shape. And we're going to add the COEs to the last page, which is the Get Started page. And then the one that we really have to work on is the Pathways and Resources page. And the buttons are not correct yet because I haven't been able to figure out how to
well,
edit
we'll
the
send it out when
names.
it's in a little better shape. But
Yeah,
all of
that's fine.
you, if you guys can update your sites, what you see on there, what you want, link it to things that make sense.
Oh yeah. It will be
Um,
in July though, because I'm about to go on vacation.
yeah. Yeah, we'll send it in July. We're not meeting again till August. So, in the downtime, contact the people on this list. And when Tracy sends out the website, we'd love your feedback. Again, this is your regional hub. So, we want it to help students
Yeah, we want it to be useful.
and future employees.
Yeah. And other faculty who are not us, who are
Yeah,
like trying to
and your
understand the
peers,
pathways.
all your
Yeah.
peers, staff the offices when they get questions. Can they go here and say, "Oh, here's a website for blah blah." Um, excuse me. Okay. Any final thoughts? So thank you all. Thank you, Tracy, for bringing all these things up.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks
everyone who
everybody.
shared.
Thanks,
Final
Becca.
thoughts, anybody? Nope.
Can I just share that we're developing a workforce learning table with First Five Alameda County? And it's going to be great. But our convening is on August 26th. So Alice and Joya and Kathleen, you're all invited. The people who I didn't name, I just don't know what your role is in relationship to Alameda County. But if you feel like you want to come, keep me posted. I'm
What's
not
the
leaving you
time?
off. It's all day, like 9:30 to 4. I'll send you an invite.
I wonder if we can combine meetings somehow.
I don't know, but I just wanted to share that I want to be here for every meeting, and that is a big thing happening.
Let's try to combine something.
Okay.
You and I can talk.
Okay, great. Thank you so
There
much.
might be elements where it makes sense for the advisory to participate. And then maybe, I'd love to have a CSU panel. Maybe I invite our local CSUs. I don't know. But I think there's two things we could speak to. I'll talk to the Centers of Excellence folks about a little more detail on the job availability, but I think the CSU challenge and the union challenge, maybe we just need to meet with them.
And Tracy, I'm happy to work with you with the CTC if you'd like
Thanks,
to
that'd be
talk
great.
about that form. Like, what happens when somebody fills out that form? Where do you send them?
Yeah. I mean, I've never thought, I feel like I actually might have filled it out years before and I never heard anything, but I think I'll definitely fill it out on July 6th when I come back, and then
Oh, good idea.
we can talk about it. Maybe we can both fill it out, or,
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to find out what happens.
This was a big effort on their part not long ago to provide this counseling, and
Right.
I don't know what it actually does. So
Yeah,
it'd be fun to
for
find out.
sure.
Well, it's worse to have a form that never gets answered than to not have one at all.
100%.
So
So
I
much
think we
worse.
should be pretty transparent around who actually gets answered and not. Connie, what committee are you on at
Oh, that's the Committee on Accreditation. So
Oh,
that's an
okay.
appointment for 3 years where
Okay.
you hear all the accreditation. But what I do know that just a couple of years ago, they staffed an entire group of counselors, career counselors at the commission. So they are counseling apparently. So anyway, if we want to, we can talk, Tracy, about a good connect on that to get
Yeah.
the word.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean I know Renee Marshall pretty well and the folks in her area, we could ask her to dig around. And
Yeah.
Adam Abraham is chairing your
That's the one I was
committee.
thinking. He's the one
No.
that I thinking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
should.
they've definitely upgraded their outreach and things. I think my only hesitation about that is I don't think a lot of our students know enough to go to them
Right,
without being led there.
right. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
But would our website, if we were confident what would happen, our website could lead them
Could
there.
point them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we could let them know I don't know, they
Yeah.
might need information from us. Well, once they
Yeah.
go to you, yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to make sure they do indeed know what's going on, like at the community colleges.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's
always.
good.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe some possible discussions with CTC unions and a little bit more about the CSU and the COEs. So, okay. Okay, Sarah, let's you and I talk about how to maybe combine efforts on the next meeting. Okay? Okay, everyone have a good July.
too.
Happy July. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you for being here. And you'll hear from me in August. And please do your tasks that are on here. And I'll send you all the slides shortly.
Thanks, everyone.
Kathleen.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Bye.